Legal landmines, don't get caught unprepared. Hello everyone, and welcome to a video that should really just come with a free complimentary tearaway lawyer. But fear not, because in this video we're arming you with essential legal tips everyone should know. Think of this as a crash course in not getting screwed over by the system. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night, so buckle up. Know your rights, because ignorance isn't bliss, it's a court date. Alright, let's start with the basics. Your rights. First up, the right to remain silent. If you're ever arrested, you don't have to say a word without a lawyer present. Next, the right to an attorney. If you can't afford one will be provided for you. And finally, protection against unreasonable searches and seizures. The government can't just barge into your home looking for that illegal stash of expired mayonnaise. They need a warrant, people. Contracts, decoding the legal jargon, one clause at a time. Now, let's talk contracts. Those terrifying documents full of words you can barely pronounce, let alone understand. The key is to actually read them. Pay close attention to the terms and conditions, because that's where they hide the fun stuff. Look for hidden fees, those sneaky little charges that magically appear on your bill. If something seems fishy, ask questions. Or better yet, have a lawyer look it over. Small claims court, justice for all, especially if it's under $5,000. So, you want to sue someone, but it's not exactly a multi-million-dollar lawsuit? Welcome to the wonderful world of small claims court. Filing a claim is relatively simple, and you don't need a lawyer. Gather all your evidence like photos, videos, and those strongly worded letters you sent that were completely ignored. The hearing itself is pretty informal, like a slightly more serious episode of Judge Judy. Okay, time for some real adulting talk. Let's dive in. We're talking about those essential legal documents everyone needs but nobody wants to think about, like a will. Having a will ensures your assets go to the people you choose, not your weird third cousin twice removed who collects rubber bands. Next up, lease agreements. Whether you're renting an apartment or a bouncy castle, get it in writing. It's crucial. And finally, power of attorney. Choose wisely, people. It's a big decision. Look, I get it. Lawyers are expensive and it can be daunting. But sometimes they're a necessary evil, like dental work or those pants with too many zippers to handle. If you're facing criminal charges, that's a good place to start seeking help. Other times you might need a lawyer. Divorce, custody disputes, personal injury cases, or anything involving large sums of money. Think of it as an investment in your future, ensuring peace of mind. Debt collectors. Those charming individuals who call you at the most inconvenient times and make you wish you'd never learned what credit was. But fear not, because you have rights, even when it comes to debt. First of all, debt collectors can't harass you. They can't call you at all hours of the night, threaten you, or use obscene language. You also have the right to dispute a debt. If you don't think you owe the money, or if you think the amount is wrong, tell them, and get it in writing. And finally, if you're being sued by a debt collector, don't ignore it. Go to court and fight it. So, you've created something amazing, a groundbreaking invention, a catchy song, a screenplay about a talking cat who solves crimes. Congratulations. Now, let's make sure nobody steals your genius and claims it as their own. That's where intellectual property comes in. This refers to creations of the mind, like inventions, literary and artistic works, and symbols, names, and images used in commerce. There are a few ways to protect your intellectual property, including copyrights, trademarks, and patents. Copyrights protect original works of authorship like books, music, and art. Trademarks protect brand names and logos. Renting a place can be tough, especially when you're dealing with a landlord who thinks they're running a feudal kingdom. They might act like they have all the power, but that's not the case. You have rights, and it's important to know them. But here's the good news. You have rights as a tenant. These rights are designed to protect you and ensure that you have a safe and comfortable living environment. Knowing your rights can make a huge difference in your renting experience. First and foremost, you have the right to a habitable living space. This means your landlord is responsible for maintaining the property and ensuring it meets basic living standards. This means your apartment should be safe and livable with working plumbing, heating, and electricity. If any of these essential services are not functioning properly, your landlord must address the issue promptly. If your landlord isn't keeping up their end of the bargain, you have the right to withhold rent or even break your lease in some cases. It's crucial to document any issues and communicate them clearly to your landlord. You also have the right to privacy. This means your landlord cannot enter your apartment without proper notice, except in emergencies. Your landlord can't just barge in whenever they please. They need to respect your space and provide reasonable notice before entering. They need to give you reasonable notice unless there's an emergency. Typically, this notice period is 24 to 48 hours depending on local laws. And finally, you have the right to a fair eviction process. If your landlord wants to evict you, they must follow legal procedures. This includes providing a valid reason and giving you adequate time to respond or rectify the situation. Remember, knowledge is power, and understanding your rights can help you navigate the challenges of renting. In the digital age, privacy is more important than ever. With every click, every search, and every online purchase, we are sharing pieces of our lives with the digital world. Every time you go online, you're leaving a trail of digital breadcrumbs that companies and governments can use to track your every move. This digital footprint can reveal a lot about you, from your shopping habits to your political views. But don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. There are ways to protect yourself and your data. Simple steps like adjusting your privacy settings and being mindful of the information you share can make a big difference. There are laws in place to protect your privacy, even if it doesn't always feel like it. These laws are designed to give you more control over your personal information and how it's used. One of the most important privacy laws is the General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR. This regulation has set a new standard for data protection and privacy. This law, which applies to companies that collect data from EU citizens, gives you more control over your personal data. It requires companies to be transparent about the data they collect and how they use it. You have the right to know what data companies are collecting on you, how they're using it, and who they're sharing it with. This transparency is crucial in building trust between consumers and companies. You also have the right to be forgotten. This means you can request that companies delete your personal data if it's no longer needed, or if you withdraw your consent. Taking control of your digital footprint is empowering and essential in today's connected world. Being falsely accused of something can be a terrifying experience. It's like being stuck in a bad episode of Law and Order, except you're the one on trial. But don't panic. There are steps you can take to protect yourself. First and foremost, stay calm. Take a deep breath, gather your thoughts, and remember that you have rights. Next, contact an attorney. Even if you're innocent, you don't want to try to navigate the legal system alone. And finally, don't say anything to the police without a lawyer present. We've all been there. It's a frustrating experience that leaves you feeling helpless and angry. You buy a product that breaks the next day, or you get scammed by a company that promises you the world and delivers nothing but disappointment. It's not just about the money, it's about the principle. You trusted that company and they let you down. But before you become a hermit who lives off the grid and makes their own clothes out of hemp, remember this: you have rights as a consumer. These rights are designed to protect you and ensure that you get what you paid for. There are laws in place to protect you from fraudulent business practices, defective products, and misleading advertising. These laws are your shield against unscrupulous companies that try to take advantage of you. For example, you have the right to a refund or exchange if a product is defective. This means that if something you buy doesn't work as it should, you can take it back and get your money back or a replacement. You also have the right to dispute charges on your credit card if you've been scammed. This is a powerful tool that can help you recover your money if a company refuses to cooperate. So the next time you're about to make a purchase, remember your rights as a consumer. Knowledge is power, and being aware of your rights can save you a lot of stress and money. Don't let companies take advantage of you. Stand up for yourself and demand what you deserve. Divorce. It's a word that strikes fear into the hearts of many, and for good reason. It's often a messy, emotionally draining process that can leave you feeling lost and uncertain about the future. If you're facing divorce, it's important to understand the legal process involved. This includes things like property division, child custody, and alimony. First and foremost, remember that you're not alone. Divorce is more common than you might think, and there are resources available to help you through it. And while it might not feel like it at the time, divorce can be a new beginning. And there you have it, folks. A crash course in essential legal tips that everyone should know. Look, I know this wasn't exactly a laugh riot, but hopefully you picked up some useful information along the way. By understanding your rights and knowing when to seek professional help, you can navigate the legal landscape with confidence. Think of it like this: the more you know about the law, the less likely you are to end up on the wrong side of it. So stay informed, stay safe. And if you ever find yourself in a legal bind, remember this video. It might just save your bacon, or at the very least, your expired mayonnaise.